Hello, everybody. This is Alex Merced, and you're listening to a new episode of The Opinions of Alex Merced. And in this episode, what I want to talk about is beliefs. More talking about talking to children about beliefs. I'm recording this because I was in a conversation talking about if I had children. I don't currently have children. When it comes to things like Santa and religion and all these things, what would I tell my children to believe? Okay. And I actually sat down and thought about this. And this is the framework that I would share with a child that I felt I had the responsibility to mold. At the end of the day, I'm not going to go tell other people's kids, because again, I do believe that other parents should have the space to decide how their kids are raised and to raise their kids as they choose. Okay, but bottom line is what I would tell any future child is there are two types of belief in the world. Okay, at the end of the day, everyone believes a lot of things, but they generally fall into one of two categories. They are things that you believe because you know they are true, and there are things that you believe because they make you feel better. They make it easier to live believing in them. And there's nothing wrong with believing in things for either reason. Okay, so at the end of the day, you have to, choose if you want to believe. You get to choose what you believe in. Okay, at the end of the day, once you know something is true, that is true. But you know for it for a fact, and even then, you should always be open to new facts and what you think and you feel you know is true no longer being true. Because things can change. But you can also just say, hey, sometimes you believe in something because it's a fun thing to believe in, or it makes you feel better to believe in. But when it comes to the beliefs of other people, it is not your role to tell them which one of these two categories their beliefs falls in. So just because you know that your beliefs fall into these two categories, you should not make a choice for others whether their belief is something that they know is true or something that they feel good about. Because most people don't categorize their beliefs this way. To them, all beliefs automatically, regardless of why they truly believe in it, fall into the category of it is something they know to be true. So if it makes you happy to believe, in anything, then believe it. But separately, also don't let it ever deter you from pursuing your personal desire to know what is true. But again, don't confuse your personal need and your personal drive for truth and comfort with you having to impose your views of truth and comfort on others. Something like that. It sounded much better when I said it the first time. But the general idea being, at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that I believe, and there's a lot of things other people believe, and I've generally never been judgmental about other people's beliefs, just because it just doesn't seem good to do so. I just don't see the purpose of being, and then sometimes I might have very bitter disagreements about people's beliefs. I will combat people when it comes to things they want to impose on others. So in discussions of policy, those who followed me in politics in the past, I would debate policy. But when it comes to hey, this is how you want to live your life, this is what you want to believe in your day-to-day life, I'm really not going to say much or push you too hard on that. Okay? I will mainly just listen. If anything, I'll be curious because I love kind of seeing the things that different people believe. Not because out of some sort of amusement, oh, ha, 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 I can't believe people believe that. More it's interesting to kind of see sort of the different ways people find to the way it affects their existence. Okay, at the end of the day, people's beliefs, okay, in things that are clearly true and things that require faith, oftentimes are huge drivers of sort of their motivation day to day, the things that help them get through the difficult times, the things that help them see hope when sometimes it feels like there is none, And I never aim to take that kind of thing away from people. And if anything, I find it interesting kind of seeing sort of what the trends are. What are the common threads when I see these kind of belief systems in others? Now, there are times where I'll express dissatisfaction with aspects of things I see. Like, for example, I always push against, people, not the fact that the people adopt the belief system, but then maybe certain aspects of their belief system push them to let's say disown family for things that really they shouldn't be disowned for, or to wish ill upon others or particular groups, or to go out of their way to cast judgment on the lives of others. But it's never, I never want to go at it being like, oh, I'm going to condemn your entire belief system because of this disagreement. It's more like I want that sort of my mantra always is to push for a world of just more broader coexistence, more broader understanding and empathy of each other, so that we all can give each other the space to sort of live our individual lives. That's just always been what I care about. So, yeah. So again, the first part was sort of what I would say to any future child, and the second part is just my elaboration on that for anyone who just might take value in it. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now, whether it's in U.S. politics or around the world, that I'm sure probably a lot of people might want to hear my opinion on. I haven't really talked about it or thought. I've definitely thought about it. But I think, main thing I haven't said much about what's going on right now is just that passions, when basically oftentimes you don't, like, for example, let's say someone burns their hand. Okay? You don't lecture them about why would they touch the stove the moment they burn their hand. The first thing you do is you focus on healing the wound, treating the hand. And then once everything is good, then you can focus on, having a conversation about how to move forward. But I don't do that while the hand is still, oozing with boils and things like that. I focus on treating the problem. Okay, and to me, that problem right now is just the broken hearts, the shattered hearts, the fear and isolation that people on many different sides of many different discussions are feeling right now, and just trying to be an empathetic ear and being someone who's just not gonna sit there and make it more difficult for them today. So what I focus on again is just basically creating that space where we can all coexist better. And sometimes that means not throwing wood in an already existing fire. Instead, stepping out because you don't want to be more kindling for that fire. And that's kind of how I've been in politics and world affairs and everything lately. Just because, honestly, it's impossible to participate in these conversations right now without adding to the fires, no matter what you say. Even if you say the most sort of what's the word I'm looking for? The most sort of unifying type message you can, or something that tries to share empathy towards all sides or whatnot. People aren't in a space to really kind of absorb that. They just kind of want to be in their space, feeling their feels, dealing with the situation, dealing with the wounds that currently are open and haven't closed, that are very much still sort of a thing. So I watch the world as it is today, and I definitely feel a sense of pain seeing the sort of movement against coexistence that has happened over the last couple months. And also just the overall divisiveness you always see when it comes to like presidential elections here in the U.S. Boiling up. But overall, like, I'm always optimistic in the long run. I always believe in the long run that either things will get better and those calms will quell, or, the fever pitches will, inspire new innovations that in sort of cultural communication and cultural interaction that just don't exist yet, that will bring sort of a better future down the road. But it's an interesting time. Like, I've been very disconnected from all of it. Like, I'm definitely been fairly privileged the last several years in just in having a job that I really, really enjoy, and generally not necessarily living a life of abundance, but living a life of comfort. And enjoying sort of like some of the, I guess, the peak years in my life, which is sad to say out loud, right? It's like, oh, okay, this is the high point. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at these days, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed me sharing with that. And yeah, I'll see y'all later. If you guys enjoyed listening, again, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. If this is the first time you've ever heard it, I don't put episodes out very often, but when I do, hopefully they are worthwhile to listen to. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Have a great day and enjoy.